Hello guys, it's been a while since I last uploaded a video on English and accent, and in this video I just want to talk about the significance of the R sound in English and accent. I think you have watched some of my videos on how to speak Hong Kong English, Manglish, Scottish accent English. However, these are not the only accent that I can speak. I can actually imitate other accents as well. And normally I don't do British accent or American accents because these accents are pretty generic and there is no specific techniques to imitate that, and I am not good at it. So first of all, I'm not an English teacher and I'm not well equipped to teach you guys on the English grammar, the vocabulary, the pronunciations, and I have one request from one of my subscribers asking me whether I can teach him to not speak Hong Kong English and teach him about the grammars and stuff. So I think I'm not qualified to do that, but there's a little thing that you can try to emphasize on speaking English is to do the schwa sound. So the schwa sounds is all about unstressed syllables or vowels. I'm not very good at it. I just only know that some of the words that you can find schwa sound are pleasant, celebrate, freedom, album, problem, data. So instead of saying data, you should say data. Instead of saying pleasant, you should say pleasant. So when you say the word pleasant at the end, ANT, you need to have the schwa sound like pleasant. So enough of the schwa sound. I'm not very good at it. You guys can just Google it, what is schwa sound and how to pronounce it correctly. So what I do know is that schwa sound is very important to speak a proper English. However, if you really want to have an accent or you want to get rid of your native accents on English, you need to focus on the R sounds. Whatever words that have the letter R, you need to pronounce it correctly. So for example, for Hong Kong people, whenever they speak English, some of the local Hong Kong people, they tend to ignore the R sound. So instead of saying present, they will say present. Promote, they will say promote. Product, they will say it as product, produce. So I'm not trying to mock how Hong Kong people speak, but this is how they are speaking right now. So if you really want to get rid of your Hong Kong accent, you need to pronounce the R sound. Forget about the schwa sound, pronounce the R sound correctly. So the main reason why Hong Kong people tend to ignore the R sound in the word is that there is no R sound in any Cantonese word. For example, in Chinese we say ren, means we tolerate, but in Cantonese they will say it as yen. In Mandarin we say people as ren. In Cantonese they will say it as yan. So there's practically no R sound in Cantonese words. So if I'm saying this wrong, please tell me, alright? Probably I don't know much about Cantonese words, so as far as I'm concerned, there is no R sound when speaking Cantonese. So what you need to do right now, just practice your tongue, try to roll up your tongue and produce the R sound. So here is a very good example. Most of the Chinese people in Malaysia, their mother tongue is Cantonese. Somehow they don't speak like the Hong Kong people. What is the main reason? This is because the Chinese in Malaysia, we need to learn our national language, which is Bahasa Melayu. Jikalau aku bercakap dalam bahasa Melayu, Anda akan dengar betapa jelas sekali R sound yang saya ucapkan. So anyway, I got an A from Malay language. Not just try to show it off. Walaupun aku kurang cakap bahasa Melayu sekarang, aku tidak pernah melupakan apa-apa pengajaran dari sekolah. Anyway, listen to me talking crap here. Didn't really convince you, right? So I'm going to show you some of the clips on how the Chinese politician in Malaysia and Singapore talking our national language and English. Try to listen to their R sound every time they speak.
Tapi yang sebelah sana haven't learned their lesson. Dia nak teruskan perjuangan GST. Dan saya rasa kalau perjuangan ni diteruskan dan kita mengalu-alukan perjuangan mempertahankan GST kerana mereka akan mengikut apa yang berlaku di Kanada di mana Parti Progressive Conservative Party dibubarkan pada tahun 2004. why we asked the federal government to cooperate with us to press on the concessionaires and use the terms within the concession agreement to allow the state government to take back the concession.
Saudara-saudara boleh mencapai kejayaan yang besar kerana usaha saudara-saudara lebih berkesan lagi dengan ibu bapa Melayu Islam. Apa yang mesti kita lakukan ialah membantu pelajar-pelajar mencapai potensi yang maksima mengikut kecerdasan semula jadi mereka masing-masing.
First of all, I can't speak as a Chinese because I'm a Singaporean. I'm of Chinese ethnic stock. But speaking as a Singaporean, with some of the built-in memory programming of the Chinese people, I would say that if you believe that the Chinese people will just splinter up into so many warlord communist committees, each governing a province or even part of a province, then you will make one of the gravest mistakes.
So how about it? Listen to them speaking every single R sound they pronounce, that really making every word influential and charismatic, doesn't it? So here is another proof on how significant R sound is when it comes to speaking different accent English, which is Scottish accent. So I've never been to Scotland, however I do notice that Scottish people speak in English with a tap R sound or a short R sound. It's not that hard to learn and speak in that way. As long as you make a tap R sound when you speak in English, you're going to sound like a native speaker. Have you got any money? I need to borrow some. My hands are pretty tight recently. However, if you try to extend the R sound into a gargle R sound, so just repeat after me, gargle. Try to practice this word, gargle, 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 gargle. Oh my god, it's pretty hard, isn't it? So if you try to extend the R sound into a gargle R sound, you are going to sound like you Russian. Russian people like to stretch out every single word. When Russian people speak, everything is slower, so the enemy will start to listen to us carefully. You know, the Russians have been very tough with the Americans. They don't tolerate democracy. I think I'm getting a little bit political, am I? So here's another small trick on how to speak Russian English apart from the gargle R sound. Whenever you're saying words that has the letter TH, for example, this, that, the, you're going to sound like these, these. They don't pronounce the T sound and the TH sound. For example, this food is terrible. These coordinates are being deployed, ready to launch the missiles. So I think I'm getting too far from the topic. So my point is that different R sound implies a different accent when it comes to English, and also helping you to avoid speaking English in your native accents. For example, Hong Kong accents or Chinese accent. So in conclusion, a tap R sound, you're going to sound like Scottish people. A gargle R sound or a long R sound, you're going to sound like the Russians. With no R sound, you're going to sound like Hong Kong people. Am I right? So right now I'm going to do a phrase with 3 different accents and 3 different R sounds. So I'm going to start with the Scottish accent with the tap R sound. Presenting the most detrimental weapon of all time. Sit back and behold. There's nothing you can do about it, because we are going to tear you down. So the next one is the Russian accent with the long gargle R sound. Presenting the most detrimental weapon of all time. Sit back and behold. There is nothing you can do about it, because we are going to tear you down. So the last one is the Hong Kong English without any R sound. Hear how it goes. Presenting you the most detrimental weapon of all time. Sit back and behold. There is nothing you can do about it, because we are going to tear you down.